What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Back with some sad news. It looks like on the Gennady Golovkin Curtis Stevens undercard, there was a heavyweight fight. And in my post-fight Gennady Golovkin video, I mentioned it. It was against the Cuban Mike Perez and then a Russian fighter. They were both undefeated. The Russian's name was Magomed Abdusalamov. And it was a hell of a fight. It was a hellacious fight. I was tweeting. I was excited. It was very exciting for a heavyweight fight. And come to find out, Abdusalamov is now in a self-induced coma from the hospital because he sustained injuries. He was complaining of headaches, and he sustained several injuries in that fight. They're heavyweights battering each other. In that fight, Magomed had a broken left hand, his nose was broken, and again, after the fight, he was complaining to doctors or family that he had a headache. So the hospital, to prevent further damage, they put him in a self-induced coma. That's where he's sitting right now. He's in the hospital in a coma. And I just want to talk and spend some time about the cruel side of boxing. This is a reality. These fighters are warriors. This guy is getting lumped up, hit over the head. He made it competitive. He did not give up. He had tremendous heart. And now he's in a self-induced coma. And that's the cruel side of boxing. So fuck you guys to the fans that crave more. Like, I love a good fight. Everybody loves a good fight, but none of these fights are worth human life. And when I see referees stop fights, like good stoppages, I almost always read dumbass comments from fans, or like, that was a premature stoppage just because you were entertained. Like a Brandon Rios versus Mike Alvarado, the first fight. That was a good stoppage. He was done. I mean, he didn't respond to like 20 punches. And this is the cruel side of boxing. This is what can happen. And again, it's not worth losing life. And I used to live in England, and now I live in America. And Americans, by far, probably the laziest and most cruel. And I'm not trying to sound unpatriotic because I love America, and the opportunities that are here. However, we're pretty cruel as if you look at it as a society. We're cruel. We crave that blood, guts, and kind of rocky type of boxing. Like, oh, if these guys don't get in here with people who are 40 pounds bigger than him and slug it out and go toe to toe, he's a runner, and all these types of comments, then they're runners, they're scared, they're chickens, and all kinds of stuff like that. So I mean, this is further proof. I wholeheartedly understand where Floyd Mayweather's coming from when he says my health comes first, in terms of I'm going to fight the way I fight for me and for my family. I'm not fighting. He's like, he said something like that. Like he doesn't fight for the fans. Like the fan, basically at the end of the day, the fans, when you have brain damage, when you end up like Muhammad Ali or Terry Norris, and you don't have all your senses to you later in life because you've taken so many headshots and just blunt force trauma, those same fans will be the same ones that abandon you. Arturo Gatti, rest in peace, was a tremendous warrior, but when he started looking bad in fights, like in the Alfonso Gomez fights, a lot of people were talking bad. I've seen a lot of people talking bad about him. Oh, he's washed up, he's a bum, da 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 da. They forget about the Mickey Ward fights until years later, recently, when they're doing specials about it, and when you look back in hindsight. But at the time, I remember I seen that fight with Alfonso Gomez and Arturo Gatti, and I felt bad because I know how much of a warrior was, and I looked at his career and what it had become. Um, but like I said, this is just the cruel side of boxing. So fuck the fans that don't care about the fighter's health. They just want to, oh, Gabe Rosado needs to quit, keep fighting. Now, me, I said that particular fight could keep going because they didn't really give, he didn't show the signs of like he was getting demolished. He was actually coming alive. And they only gave the corner in between one round to work on the cut. But shit, if people are in self-induced comas, maybe it is the right call. I just thought that they didn't give the corner really enough chance to stop the fight, and he wasn't taking severe punishment. Like if you look at Magomed, he was taking brutal shots from a heavyweight, from a trained Cuban, who went through the Cuban amateur system, which is one of the best boxing forms of schooling, and he was staying alive. I mean, he was trying. I could definitely say he was trying. So I wish him a speedy recovery. And I just want to shed some light on the cruel side of boxing. This what can happen. There's been plenty of fighters like Emil Griffin who've killed people in the ring. Ray Robinson. Most recently, the Magomed. He's in a coma. Most recently, Magomed Abdusalamov is in a self-induced coma. We had Francisco Frankie Lil, who passed away. Rest in peace. So I just want to shed some light and bring some focus to this subject. Defense is important. Not taking hits on hits is important. So I'm all for most of the stoppages that I see. Curtis Stevens, great stoppage from the corner. He wasn't responding. He wasn't doing enough to stay alive. It could have been stopped in the round to me because he was against the ropes, not throwing back, and Golovkin was loading up on him. So let me know what you guys think of this topic. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Make sure you leave a comment for Magomed Abdusalamov.